What do you want from me?
A little gratitude would be nice. I did just save your ass back there.
Thanks. But what's in it for you? I mean, you're a crook, right? You gotta have an angle.
You are one piece of work, kid. What's your story, anyway?
Look, mister. No offense, but I don't even know you.
Easily remedied. Victor Sullivan. This would be the part where you introduce yourself. Okay. Suppose you tell me what's so special about that ring.
It belongs in my family. I'm just taking it back.
Passed down from Francis Drake himself.
That's right.
I don't know how to break this to you, kid, but Drake didn't have any heirs. No children.
Well, not with his wife back in England, anyway.
Okay, good point. Let me see it. Come on, kid. If I was gonna take it from you, I would have done it by now. Thank you. So, what is this? Parvis
Sic Parvis Magna. It means greatness from small beginnings. That was his motto.
Yeah?
You see, Queen Elizabeth gave it to him in 1581, when he got back to England after circumnavigating the globe. That's when she made him a knight.
Well, you sure as hell didn't learn that on the streets. How's a kid your age know Latin?
The nuns sort of insisted on it.
So, like a boarding school?
That's a nice word for it.
Okay, then. So what was all that business with the ring and that astrolabe thing back there?
Why don't you tell me? You're the one working for him.
Look, kid. A client wants something, I obtain it. For a price. I don't ask any questions. It's just a job.
Look pretty friendly to me.
Yeah, well. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm fired.
Okay, look. First of all, that was no astrolabe. It's some sort of decoding device. Check this out. On his way around the world, Drake sailed through the East Indies. Only he says that it took him 6 months to get from here to here.
Yeah, so?
So it doesn't add up. He was way too good a sailor for that. It would have taken him a month, tops. He was hiding something. Something big.
How big?
Like secret mission from the Queen big. Like millions in plundered treasure that hasn't ever been recovered big.
That big?
That big.
And that decoder has something to do with it?
I would bet my life on it.
Oh, swell. And Marlowe's got it.
Won't do her much good without the key.
So it's a stalemate then?
For now.
So you still haven't told me what your name is?
And you still haven't told me what you want from me.
Okay. Look, you got talent, but you got a lot to learn. You stick with me and I'll teach you a few things.
Thanks. But I'm doing just fine on my own.
Yeah, clearly. What do you say we try this again?
Welcome everybody, Josh here, back at it today with a brand new project. YouTube, we're talking about this, which is Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. Now, I have a love relationship with the video game Uncharted Drake's Deception. On one hand, this is a very solid and perfect entry franchise. On the other hand, this is a very frustrating game and one that I think is a little bit weird in terms of the storytelling and the development part of the video game process. Now, as you guys know, I'm a massive fan of the Uncharted franchise. I've basically been a fan of the franchise ever since the very beginning with the very first game, and that basically carried on down to the sequel in the franchise, which is this game. And that being the case, I still really love this game for a variety of different reasons. I think the combat in this game, while it is very similar to things like Tomb Raider and Gears of War in terms of the playstyle and the way that you handle the character, especially with the over-the-top third-person narrative story, I still think that this is a very fantastic game and one that you should definitely play if you're interested in the story arc of Nathan Drake as well as the character in the franchise. Once again, you got Nolan North reprising his role as Nathan Drake. You got Richard Donegal as Victor Sullivan, who plays a really stoic character in this game, as well as a mentor and father figure type character to Nathan Drake, who doesn't really have a father because his parents basically orphaned him as a kid. And you get to learn a little bit more about the backstory between Nolan North and Nathan Drake in this game, because this game picks up right after Uncharted 2 leaves, 2 years after sort of the events of Uncharted 2 leaves. You see a young Nathan Drake. He's pretty much living in a tropical environment. He's learning the rules of the road in terms of trying to learn how to become a treasure hunter, and he basically meets Victor Sullivan, who eventually tries to pickpocket. I'm not going to go over the entirety of the story because this is a very simplistic and pretty much almost, Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade style. The game is very influenced by. This game is very much influenced by movies such as Tomb Raider as well as Indiana Jones and things of that nature. So it does kind of draw references from the Raiders of the Lost Ark as well as Last Crusade in terms of the film's franchise, and borrows things from Die Hard and some other action movies that he may have inspired from when creating this game. Now, there is a brand new villain in this game, and once you get to the main story missions, which takes place in this really cool bar fight in UK, you get to see Victor Sullivan and Nathan Drake on a gang that is basically trying to steal the Sir Francis Drake ring, which you see here that I have here on my neck, and basically use it to kind of find the Pillars of Sands, which is basically like Atlantis, but in sort of the Arabian Desert, and something that T. Lawrence was basically fixated on finding in terms of the video game universe, as well as Nathan Drake in this story. And so finding the lost Pillars of the Sands, as they're called, which is basically the Atlantis of the Sands, as they're called in this game, is a really harrowing journey for Nathan Drake. It takes Drake through France, where there's a chateau level, and he tries to survive along with Victor Sullivan as the whole entire place is collapsing around him. You also get to go on this cruise ship level, which there's a really annoying boss fight, and there's actually several annoying boss fights on this cruise ship level, where the cruise ship itself is capsizing. Then you also got the minigun boss fight, which is a little bit frustrating. I'll kind of get into that later on in terms of the gameplay aspect of this game. And then you kind of go to the Arabian Desert, which is a really cool level, and it's also a little bit weird because that's where you kind of meet the fact that the main bad guy is Catherine Marlowe. She is the main villain, and she's pretty much your typical badass action lead character in the video game. She has like a bunch of henchmen, including one who you perceive to be the main villain of the story, and then you actually later on learn that she's actually the villain, and she does a really good job in terms of her role. She has really good vibe to her. She's also a treasure hunter and an adventure seeker herself. She's basically the opposite of Nathan Drake, and I think that's one of the reasons why the whole storyline works as well as it does, because of the fact she is on the quest for fame, fortune, and glory, same as Nathan Drake is, but she kind of handles herself a different way than Nathan does in the games, and you kind of see Nathan Drake's own friends and family turn against him, especially Charlie Cutter in this game. But I think does the voice actor who does a really good job in terms of portraying someone that's double-crossed, but not really on purpose, because of the fact that he's been tranquilized and shot with a gun that starts kind of turning him into this person that's not. And you see that several points throughout the game where Charlie Cutter's trying to fight off this drug-induced hallucination that he sees Nathan Drake as the villain when he's pretty much the hero story. And then you have the relationship drama between him and not only Elena Fisher, who is basically his love interest and who basically separated from him in terms of the story in the second game, but now they're kind of trying to come back together and kind of trying to work through their relationship issues. I really do like that aspect of this game. And then you also get the story between Victor Sullivan, who's trying to learn to become a father figure type character to Nathan Drake in this game, whereas the first couple of games he didn't really want to be that father figure, but eventually later on in terms of the story he realized what he is starting to fight for in terms of the story of the video game franchise. And I really like that heartwarming message of fatherhood, especially in the Uncharted games, because when you first meet Victor Sullivan, they kind of have a fatherly son vibe to them, where they're kind of bickering and bantering kind of like a father and son would, and then over time you kind of grow to respect sort of that character as sort of Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan. Elena Fisher, as she kind of tags along with these ventures. And I think that everybody who plays their part into the Uncharted storyline, especially with Uncharted 3, does a really good job. This is a darker tone to the storyline, but not as dark as you would see in Uncharted 4: The Thief's End. And so one of the things I really don't like about the Uncharted franchise is when they kind of delve into the supernatural elements. In the first game, it was the zombie style reanimated horse element to it with the El Dorado and the pillars, the golden pillar of El Dorado. And then in the second game, they didn't really have that too much. Basically, these stones that basically turn the enemies into super soldiers. In Uncharted 3, you get this hallucinogenic drug that basically turns Nathan Drake and anybody who gets stabbed with them into hallucinations. You see these Ghost Rider figures that come out of nowhere and basically zigzag around the map, basically kill you, which is very frustrating, especially in the later part of the game to kind of fight against. And then you kind of got these over-the-top set pieces, like I said before, within France, where Chateau mission, where it's kind of crumbling alongside Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan, similar to that of the ending of Halo. We've also got Cruise Ship mission, where it capsizes and overturns, which I think is a really cool mission in itself, and a really cool and fun experience to have in the game if it's not a little bit frustrating. A lot of these missions are really cool and fun to play, but they're also kind of frustrating. That's one of the things I really love and hate about this game is, while I think it's a perfect and solid experience like the other games in the Naughty Dog franchise are, this is one of those frustrating experiences where I don't really like replaying it as much as the prior two games in the franchise, just because of how frustrating it is. Whereas in the second game, the only frustrating part is the ending where you're fighting Blazarovich, and he's basically the super soldier monster that basically has a one-shot kill, which is kind of of annoying, especially in boss fight. But in this game, you're dealing with these Ghost Rider style figures who are these supernatural figures, and they kind of whip around the map, stuff like that, and can kill you pretty easily. Game that was another frustrating aspect of this game, but it's still a solid piece of entertainment. I think that if you're looking for a game that has a solid story, that has solid puzzle solving, which these puzzles in the game are super frustrating, especially if you haven't played these games in a while, you're gonna have to like literally go up and look up how to beat them on YouTube, which is the fact that they are so, in terms of telling you how to beat them, in terms of their descriptions. And so I did that a couple times where I'm able to kind of beat them without actually looking at them now. But I think that this game overall is a very solid piece. I think that if you're trying to buy this for yourself to play or family members to play, in terms of the Nathan Drake collection, whether you're buying the Nathan Drake collection or these games separately on PlayStation 3, you're not going to have a buyer's remorse in terms of purchasing yourself a copy of this game. Now, I do have the PlayStation 3 copy as well as this game on the Nathan Drake collection. I'll probably end up doing the Nathan Drake collection footage this review just because of the fact that it has better quality footage. It's a little bit more remastered, which I think these games have a little bit of out-to-date graphics, and it would be kind of cool to see them take the Last of Us style graphics with Part 1 remake and actually do a full-blown remake with the Uncharted games. But either case, the graphics for the games this time were fantastic. It was basically like playing a live-action movie, especially with the first 2 games of the franchise. You basically felt like the everyman in Nathan Drake and his quest to kind of basically either prove or disprove legends about Sir Francis Drake and his family heritage. And I think that's one of the things that really does work in terms of the storyline and the lore of the franchise. So I think that with the storytelling in this game, with the visual narrative involved in terms of the graphics and cinematic approach, with the fact they used motion capture for most of the stunts and the parkour and climbing, the visual narrative style of the cutscenes in this game, as well as the game mechanics as well, with the fact that Naughty Dog was basically revolutionizing gameplay mechanics in terms of the Uncharted franchise at this time on the basically tail end of the PlayStation life cycle. This game really kicked in high gear, where you thought Uncharted Drake's Fortune and Uncharted 2 Among Thieves basically kicked off that PlayStation regeneration. I think that this was the basically end cap to that piece that we were kind of getting in terms of the puzzle. And I really do think that Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception, while it's not a perfect game per se, while it's not like one of those things that's going to raise the bar in terms of graphics and the engines and that in terms of console that it was kind of working with at the time, there's some really cool parts in this game. Like I said, for Shadow scene, so got the cruise ship scene, which I mentioned, you got truck chase scene at the end of the game. You also even got a scene where you're in the Radiant Desert on AC-130, and then Nathan Drake is basically kind of tumbling out of it and then trying to get back onto the AC-130 style aircraft, which I think is pretty cool, and it's basically replicated in the live-action movie. Everything about this video game is epic, and I think it's just as cool as you see in a Indiana Jones movie or Tomb Raider movie. All these things that, like I said, where Amy Hennig was basically inspired by when creating this video game from the video game franchise. And it was even cool as a kid getting to see a person for that who basically inspired Nathan Drake here playing Uncharted 3 promotional ads for the video game itself. And I'm a huge fan of not only Nathan Drake, but also Indiana Jones, both of the characters I actually cosplay as in real life, as you can kind of see here with my replica ring, my shoulder holster rig from Drake's Fortune, and my cosplay gear that I have here. And I think as a fan of all these treasure hunting movies and video games, I think it's definitely one of those franchises that you need to play if you have PlayStation 3 or PS5 for that matter. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. I really hope that I covered everything that I needed to in these first 3 games. I know I kind of didn't cover everything in the Drake's Fortune review and the Uncharted 2 review, just as I was trying to get to Drake's Deception, but I really do love these games. They're basically things that inspired me to become a filmmaker, a screenwriter, which I basically write screenplays in my free time, and I like to write action, adventure, and sci-fi stuff. So, this is one of those games, along with things like Halo, Gears of War, Mass Effect, and Killzone Resistance, that basically inspired me as sort of my filmmaking career. And I think that video games, especially movie-based ones like the ones that Naughty Dog are creating, can go hand in hand. And you're seeing a lot of movie-based games coming to fruition even today, and I think that Uncharted is the one that's far. So, as always, guys, if you like these types of video game reviews, I really do have fun creating them and making them. I really don't script my content like a lot of YouTubers do. I basically do this off cuff. So if you want to see more stuff like this in the future, please rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Hey, hold up a minute, Nate.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I just got something needs saying, that's all.
All right. What is it?
Look, I had a lousy father, a lousy childhood. I hit 40, I figured I was never gonna have a son of my own. Hell, I never wanted one. What the hell do I know about raising a kid? Then you came barreling into my life.
Look, you don't have to.
No, listen, I do. I have made a lot of mistakes, kid. A lot. And, well, I am not a perfect man.
You're not proposing, are you, Sully? I mean, I love you, but...
Stop. Just stop being a wise ass for 1 second.
How long you been carrying that around?
Too long.
Thought I'd lost it.
Here's the thing, kid. We don't get to choose how we start in this life. Real greatness, it's what you do with the hand you dealt.
Hey,
Hey. Going somewhere?
maybe? I'm really sorry about your ring.
Yeah. It's all right. I swapped it for something better. Let's get out of here, huh?
Yeah.
Come on, we're this way.
But
Come on. Trust me.
what are you up to? No way.
It's not as nice as the one you two wrecked 4 years ago, but it'll do. Come on. Let's see if I can remember how to fly the goddamn thing.
Hey, this has parachutes, right?
Oh, yeah.
3.
More or less.